Maria and welcome to SG Global News. From an evening of prayer that concluded with adoration before exposed Blessed Sacrament at the Mar-A-Lago estate of President Donald Trump to the first ever Eucharistic Congress for the Deaf that will take place in the beginning of April, we have many stories to cover. On March 19, the solemnity of St. Joseph, dozens of Catholic clergy and lay faithful from across the US gathered at Donald Trump's Mar-A-Lago estate for an evening of prayer, culminating in Eucharistic adoration led by Bishop Joseph Strickland. The event, part of a second Catholic Prayer for America Gala, was organized by Catholics for Catholics to pray for the nation, its leaders, and the Church. Many prominent speakers spoke at the gathering, and a statue of Our Lady of Fatima was blessed and gifted to President Trump.
On the evening of March 19th, the Solemnity of St. Joseph, dozens of Catholic priests and lay faithful gathered at Donald Trump's Mar-A-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida, to pray for the United States, its leaders, and the Catholic Church. The Eucharistic Adoration led by Bishop Joseph Edward Strickland was the high point of this evening of prayer at the Winter White House. The Eucharistic Adoration at Trump's Mar-A-Lago residence was part of the second Catholic Prayer for America Gala, organized by Catholics for Catholics, an organization of Catholics committed to bringing the faith into the public square. Among the notable attendees were Bishop Strickland, Bishop Emeritus of Tyler, Texas, Dr. Taylor Marshall, Catholic evangelist and author, Jean Marshall, pro-life activist pardoned by President Trump, and Nancy Charles, a detransitioner and recent convert to Catholicism. Also present were General Mike Flynn, former National Security Advisor to President Trump, Father Dan Vigil, a renowned exorcist, and Father David Nixon Will Goodman, who was spared jail time after going to trial for praying inside an abortion facility in New Jersey. The event, which was organized with the support of the local Diocese of Palm Beach and Bishop Gerald Barbarito, began at 6 p.m. and concluded with benediction at 10 p.m. During the evening, Bishop Strickland also blessed a statue of Our Lady of Fatima, surrounded by priests from across the country, as a gift to President Donald Trump. Catholics for Catholics later shared on X that many conversions took place at the event. Mar-A-Lago, a 20-acre property with a 126-room mansion, was purchased by Donald Trump in 1985 and converted into an exclusive club with membership fees reportedly exceeding $1 million. Over the years, it has hosted prominent politicians, billionaires, and business tycoons. However, the March 19th event was unlike any other that had taken place on this property, and no guest could ever compare to the one present that day: Jesus in the real presence.
Chinese authorities have arrested Bishop Peter Rao Zuman of Wenzhou for refusing to pay a heavy fine after celebrating a Jubilee Year opening Mass on December 27th. The 61-year-old underground Catholic bishop, who has long resisted joining the state-controlled church, was detained on March 6th, and his whereabouts remain unknown. His arrest is the latest in China's ongoing crackdown on religious freedom, particularly targeting clergy loyal to the Vatican.
Agents of the Chinese National Security Office have arrested yet another Catholic bishop on egregious charges. Bishop Peter Shao Zhumin was taken into custody on the morning of March 6th for refusing to pay a hefty fine imposed for celebrating Holy Mass on December 27th, marking the opening of the Jubilee year. Bishop Shao was ordained coadjutor bishop of the Diocese of Yongjia Wenzhou in November 2011 by Pope Benedict XVI. He officially became Bishop of Yongjia on September 7, 2016, following the death of his predecessor, Bishop Vincent Zhu Weifang. The 61-year-old bishop has steadfastly refused to pledge allegiance to the state-controlled Catholic Church, which operates under the authority of the Chinese Communist Party, a stance that has made him a target of government persecution. Bishop Shao was previously arrested on January 2, 2024 after writing a letter objecting to government-imposed changes in the diocese made by Father Ma Jianxi, whom the state recognizes as the diocese's official leader. His latest arrest follows his refusal to pay a 200,000 yuan, approximately $27,000 fine for celebrating a mass attended by 200 people. Authorities claim that the mass was illegal under Article 71 of the Regulations on Religious Affairs, labeling it a serious crime. However, the bishop refused to comply, maintaining that the church's activities did not violate the law. While the National Security Office has assured the public of Bishop Shao's safety, his whereabouts remain unknown. The underground Catholic Church of Venju, to which the bishop belongs, has launched a prayer campaign in his support. There are rumors that his detention will be prolonged. The Chinese government has a history of arresting Catholic bishops, particularly those loyal to the Vatican. Bishops James Zhu Shimin, Cosmas Shi Enjiang, Joseph Zhang Weizhu, Augustine Kui Tai, and Thaddeus Madakin are among the bishops detained by the communist regime. Bishop James Zhu Shimin was last seen in police custody in 1997 and has been missing ever since. Bishop Cosmas Shi Enjiang was imprisoned for over 50 years in total and reportedly died in custody in 2015.
The Vatican's latest statistics reveal that the global Catholic population has surpassed 1.4 billion, marking a 1.15% increase from 2022 to 2023. The report highlights strong growth in Africa, the Americas, and Asia, while Europe remains the least dynamic in Catholic expansion. Additionally, the number of bishops and permanent deacons has risen, though the total number of priests has slightly declined.
The number of Catholics around the world has surpassed 1.4 billion, according to the Vatican Central Office of Church Statistics. The Annuarium Statisticum Ecclesiae 2023 published by the Vatican revealed that the global Catholic population increased by 1.15% between 2022 and 2023, rising from approximately 1.39 billion to 1.406 billion. As per the official statistics, 20% of the Catholics of the entire planet reside in Africa, characterized by a highly dynamic spread of the Catholic Church. The Americas, to which 47.8% of the world's Catholics belong, recorded a growth of 0.9% over the biennium. The Asian continent recorded a growth of Catholics of 0.6% over the biennium. According to the report, in 2023, 76.7% of Southeast Asian Catholics were concentrated in the Philippines with 93 million and in India with 23 million. Europe, although home to 20.4% of the world's Catholic community, was once again found to be the least dynamic continent with just a 0.2% increase in the number of Catholics over the biennium. Italy, Poland, and Spain continue to be the countries in Europe where more than 90% of the resident population identified as Catholic. Oceania recorded a 1.9% increase in the number of Catholics compared to 2022. The biennial statistics have also revealed a rise in the number of bishops and permanent deacons. The number of priests at the end of 2023 stood at 406,996, with a decrease of 734 compared to the previous year. However, the number of priests in Africa and Asia has shown an increase.
In the Archdiocese of Singapore, over 1,000 individuals are preparing to be baptized at the Easter Vigil next month. According to the Archdiocesan website, a total of 9,842 catechumens and 165 candidates from across Singapore participated in the annual rite of election and called to continuing conversion at the Blessed Sacrament Church and the Church of Holy Family. More than 1,000 people are preparing to become Catholic at the Easter Vigil next month in the Archdiocese of Singapore. According to the Archdiocesan website, on March 8th and 9th, 842 catechumens and 165 candidates from across Singapore took part in the annual rite of election and called to continuing conversion at the Blessed Sacrament Church and the Church of the Holy Family. Cardinal William Goh, Archbishop of Singapore, presided over the preparatory rites for catechumens and candidates and emphasized that the creed of the church must become their personal conviction. The catechumens wrote their names in the Book of the Elect, which was in the form of a long scroll, while the candidates participated in the call to continuing conversion, where Cardinal Goh declared the church's recognition of their desire to become conformed at Easter. On Sunday, March 23rd, the Church of the Holy Cross will hold a Mandarin rite of election and call to continuing conversion service for 124 catechumens and 7 candidates. Thus, a total of 966 elect and 172 candidates are expected to be received into full communion with the Church this Easter in Singapore. Bishop David Malloy of Rockford, Illinois, has issued a pastoral letter condemning the potential legalization of assisted suicide in the state. In response to bills under consideration in the Illinois General Assembly, he argued that while intentions behind the legislation may be well-meaning, assisted suicide is a false charity that poses dangerous consequences. Bishop David Malloy of Rockford, Illinois, has issued a pastoral letter condemning the potential legalization of assisted suicide in the state. His letter comes in response to bills currently under consideration in the Illinois General Assembly that would allow assisted suicide for individuals with terminal illnesses. In his letter, Bishop Malloy stated, "Assisted suicide is a false charity," cautioning that while the intentions behind such legislation may be well-meaning, it carries many dangerous consequences that Christians are called to reject. He emphasized that assisted suicide is not a compassionate solution for those suffering. The bishop highlighted concerning trends from regions where assisted suicide has been legalized, particularly the financial implications. He pointed out that insurance companies in those areas have been known to refuse coverage for necessary medical care for the terminally ill while covering the cost of lethal drugs for assisted suicide. Malloy also noted that every major national organization representing people with disabilities has opposed the practice. Furthermore, the bishop underscored the poor and those with disabilities are especially vulnerable to abuses arising from assisted suicide laws, as they are often the most at risk in such situations. Malloy advocated for alternatives, stressing the importance of palliative care, expanded access to mental health services, and stronger family and community support systems. He stated that these measures offer a more compassionate and life-affirming approach to accompanying those in need, honoring the dignity of every human life. In addition to Illinois, similar bills legalizing assisted suicide have also been introduced in Maryland and Delaware. Over 5,000 people gathered in a massive protest outside the New South Wales Parliament to oppose the NSW Abortion Access Bill introduced by Amanda Cohen on February 19th. And the abortion advocate Joanna Howe addressed the crowd, discussing concerns related to the bill, followed by Liberal Member of the Parliament Susan Carter and Rachel Wong, CEO of Women's Forum Australia. Archbishop Anthony Fisher OP, Archbishop of Sydney, was also present among the protesters. More than 5,000 people gathered outside the New South Wales Parliament House on Wednesday, March 19, to protest a bill that would allow the NSW Health Minister to authorize abortions and remove conscientious objection rights for healthcare practitioners. The protests followed the introduction of the Greens Abortion Access Bill by Amanda Cohen on February 19, 2025. Supporters filled the streets in large numbers before the event, forcing police to close 2 lanes of traffic to accommodate the crowd. NSW Premier Chris Minns confirmed that party members would be allowed a conscience vote on the bill. However, he stated publicly that he did not support any changes to the conscientious objection provisions. Anti-abortion advocate Joanna Howe addressed the rally, responding to Minns' comments about the bill. She argued that it was not enough for the Premier to state that he would not personally vote for the bill, emphasizing the NSW Labour Party is the party of government and they must block this bill. Ho also took the issue with the provision of the bill, particularly the clause granting the health minister the authority to order hospitals to perform abortions. She challenged the Greens MLC by stating, quote, "Why do we have this power in this bill? If that's not the goal, take it out," end quote. Liberal Member of the Parliament Susan Carter also spoke out against the bill, calling for it to be rejected in its entirety. Rachel Wong, CEO of Women's Forum Australia, took the stage next, directing her comments toward Amanda Cohen. Archbishop Anthony Fisher OP, Archbishop of Sydney, was also present among the protesters. Many nurses voiced concerns about the risk to their ability to object, highlighting potential threats to their professional integrity. The rally, described by many as a powerful show of opposition, reflected widespread discontent with the bill, which critics argue is a radical and authoritarian move in the name of women's rights. The protesters left no doubt about their opposition, calling for the bill to be defeated. The first ever Deaf Eucharistic Congress will take place from April 4th to 6th at National Shrine of the St. Elizabeth and Seton, organized by Father Mike Depsick, a deaf priest and chaplain of the Deaf Ministry in the Archdiocese of Baltimore. The event is anticipated to bring together around 230 Catholics to celebrate and honor the Eucharist. The National Shrine of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton in Maryland will host the first ever Eucharistic Congress specifically for the Catholic deaf community from April 4th to 6th. The event, organized by Father Mike Depsic, a deaf priest and chaplain for the deaf ministry in the Archdiocese of Baltimore, is expected to bring together approximately 230 Catholics to pray and honor the Eucharist. Father Depsic, one of only a few deaf priests worldwide, has worked to strengthen the deaf community in Maryland and beyond. He designed the Congress to ensure that deaf individuals could actively participate. According to the statistics, 96% of deaf people, including those baptized as Catholics, do not attend church due to the lack of services in their sign languages. The Deaf Eucharistic Congress will focus entirely on the needs of the deaf Catholic community, which includes the deaf, hard of hearing, deaf-blind, hearing pastoral workers in deaf ministry, and hearing parents of deaf children. Father Depsic emphasized the uniqueness of the event, noting that it is the first ever Eucharistic Congress specifically created by and for deaf Catholics. The Congress will feature a variety of activities, including speakers from across the United States. Among the speakers are Deacon Patrick Grable, a retired deaf professor, and Janine Adkins, a member of the National Catholic Office for the Deaf. The schedule will include adoration, confessions, and Mass on April 5th, and time for presentations and fellowship. On Sunday, April 6th, Mass will be celebrated with the local deaf Catholic community in Urbana, Maryland. This historic event promises to be a memorable occasion for the deaf Catholic community, providing an opportunity for deeper spiritual connection and participation in the Eucharist. That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.